Hello, world. It is Monday, May 11th, although it feels more like March 11th with the way the weather's been. I did get out for a run this morning and ran about 4.5 miles. Kind of overcast and cool, temps in the 30s, but still a beautiful day to run and a beautiful day to be out and about. Today's Stillspeaking Daily Devotional is entitled He Fell on His Face, and it's written by Elizabeth Griswold. And she bases her devotional upon a selection from the book of Numbers, chapter 16, verse 2b and 3 through 4 from the New Revised Standard Version. And it reads, Leaders of the congregation chosen from the assembly assembled against Moses and against Aaron and said to them, You have gone too far. Why do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord? When Moses heard it, he fell on his face. Elizabeth writes, He fell on his face. Wow, the great leader too? Did he fall in despair, exhaustion, shame, humility, or in prayer? And what brought this on? It was a community turning in on itself, a community collapsing into fighting, accusations, and struggles over power. How could the best-intentioned group of people, folks dedicated to God's ways of justice, ever stoop so low, especially when they were threatened externally with much larger challenges? Yet it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Every congregation has such earth-shattering crises. Its version of the Great Church Council debate of 2013 or 1983 or 1893. Every social justice organization remembers that horrible breakup of staff or desertion of donors. That time the leaders turned against us and we fell on our faces in despair, in exhaustion, in shame, in humility, in prayer. When we found ourselves with a mouthful of earth and nothing else to say. Of course, for Moses, God resolved the debate by opening up that very earth to swallow up the complainers. Since that isn't exactly an option for us, maybe we can look to what Moses does after the collapse. He pulls himself up and pulls it together, attempts reconciliation, and calls everyone back to God. In Elizabeth's prayer, God, as we stumble in our attempts to follow your ways of justice after each earth-rending faceplant, please lift us up, dust us off, and breathe your life into us once again. Amen. I think everybody has had struggles like that where you thought you were doing the right thing and going right along, and then all of a sudden it just kind of all falls apart, or someone has a different idea and calls you to task for the direction you're going. And it can be difficult. Sometimes I've even felt this way, not so much that anybody's challenging me, but just the challenges of this whole coronavirus isolation thing. It's not what I know of church, or I should say church is turning out to be something different than I had always grown up with. And sometimes it seems frustrating and hard and difficult. And then other times things happen and people say things or call me on the phone, and it just makes me feel wonderful again. So I think we got some work ahead of us as the church to determine who we are and how we are going to be in the world over the next year or so, and what that means really for us as a church long term. How is it that we can be the church? I think we're discovering that it's not just about meeting together on Sunday morning for worship in a building. It's so much more than that. Well, I hope we can be like Moses, where we can pull ourselves up and pull ourselves together, or attempt reconciliation and call everyone back to God and start being the church in whatever way that looks like now. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.